going to continue on with that previous problem that we actually did for Chapter 8 and look at it a different way. Notice that what we did rearranged in the order increasing. Let's look at it where we don't start with the do nothing, which is 0, and do it in decreasing order and see if it comes up with the same answer. So in this case, you notice that we go from E, but with decreasing values going down to 0, which is the do nothing, the end. So what we want to do is, first of all, let's compare this to the very first one, which is E minus the do nothing, to see if it's viable or not. So first of all, we're going to actually compare it between this one. So in this case, we see that we have a present worth is going to be equal to 0. It's going to be $9,000. We're going to add the $785 to it as a benefit. We're going to do the present, and we're going to do internal rate of E minus the do nothing, and we're going to do it again for 20 periods. When we finally find that one calculation, we find out is E minus the do nothing is equivalent to 6.01% for that one, which is, compared to the 10%, it's not. So E does not win, but the do nothing actually wins. So what that's showing is that E is not viable to actually do this solution. It doesn't give us enough internal rate of return compared to the do nothing line. So we continue on with the next one, which is C, and we're going to compare that to the do nothing. And the present worth of that one is going to be the minus 6,000 plus the 761. We're going to find a P given an A at the internal rate of return of the C minus the do nothing, and we're going to find that is going to be 20. So the internal rate of return of C minus the do nothing is somewhere about 11.15%, and of course that is greater than. So in this case, we see that C wins. Now what we want to do is look at C. We're going to do C minus A. Again, C has a greater number than actually A, so we'll be subtracting that way. So the present worth of that one is going to be, of course, equal to 0, and that is equal to minus 6,000 minus the 4,000 plus the 761 minus the 639, and again it is to find a P given an A at internal rate of C minus A for 20, and that comes out to be 1.97%, and we see that is definitely not. So in this case, C is no longer our champion because it didn't exceed the 10%, so we actually say A actually wins at that point. Okay, the next one we have is A minus, now C has been eliminated, A is now versus B. So we do A minus B, and we do the present worth is equal to 0 for this one. We do the minus 4,000 minus the 2,000 plus 639 minus the 410, and we're going to find a P given an A, internal rate of return of A minus B, 20. And we find out the internal rate of return of A minus B is equivalent to 9.63%, which is not greater than 10%. So again, what we have is that A is no longer our champion, B is now wins. So we have B winner, and now we're comparing it to D, which is our last one that we actually have. So we have the present worth is equal to 0. We have a minus, we have the 2,000, subtracting from it 1,000. We're going to then add the 410 minus 117. We're going to find a P given an A, an internal rate of return of B minus D, and that is equal for 20. And the internal rate of return of B minus D is equal to 29.12%, and that is much greater than 10. So in this case, we say that B wins and is the final selection.